The latest Pompey news, updates every day from the Pompey Sound news desk.
Mackenzie Kirk, on his goal against Coventry, had this to say.
The goal is something I'll be forever proud of for me and my family. It's something I can cherish, and there's a lot more of that to come from me at Fratton Park. I'm looking forward to it. My girlfriend was in the South Stand, and my family would have been watching on TV in Scotland. So yes, a proud moment. For me, my game, as you've seen, is running off the back of defenders and sniffing out chances to score. I'll always be there between the sticks. It's something I see as quite a strong bit of my game. There's a lot of things I need to improve, and I'm really keen to improve, but my strongest aspects are running off the back of defenders and creating chances to score goals. For me, I'd like to think of myself as an out-and-out 9. I know I can play across the front three and do a job, but my preferred position is as a striker, so it's pleasing to hear the manager say the same about me. The goal was one where it was a great ball from Terry, and it was one where I had to stay composed. I saw where the keeper was, and I saw where I could put the ball. Fortunately, I was able to put it away. Colby's experienced and knows what the league is about. He's a good striker, he's good to learn with and has a lot I can learn from. For me, it's about staying alive. I've always had that good experience growing up with my dad, who was a striker. He's always passed on his knowledge to me and good advice. It's about staying switched on, because there's always another chance coming. It's about being ready. As a striker, you can get frustrated and it can affect your game, so I put it to one side and stay ready for the next one. There's no pressure on me at the moment, as the gaffer has said. It's about being ready when the opportunity comes.
He really could be just about anything, couldn't he, Mackenzie Kirk? He's absolutely right when he says that his goal against Coventry was all about composure. And when you've got that much composure, when I think he's still a teenager, then, as Arthur Daly puts it, the world is his lobster. He comes from a footballing family. They're not quite up there with the Hinchellwoods, but his dad was a striker, played for Northampton Town. So no offence intended to Northampton, but Mackenzie, now that he has a playing career up and running with Portsmouth, is in danger of overtaking his dad, who overtook his dad in turn, because Andy Kirk, who is Mackenzie Kirk's dad and still involved in football in Scotland, his dad, Paul Kirk, he played mainly Irish football, but he had a spell with Aston Villa. So they are a proper footballing family. And you can imagine the fun that they have on Boxing Day. Well, the fun that they used to have on Boxing Day, because now it's game time on Boxing Day. Sitting around the fire with the football on the telly and a wee heavy and a half pint, whatever, to keep themselves warm. So Mackenzie Kirk, tremendous prospect, it would appear. Now, he's in a difficult position with Colby Bishop and footballers must have to deal with this all the time. You're training alongside somebody who you are competing with for a place in the starting 11. And if one is significantly older or younger than the other, then the sense in the older player is that his maturity and his status commands that he imparts as much knowledge and understanding of the game as he can to the youngster. But at the same time, he doesn't want that youngster to go sailing past him. Colby Bishop will be understandably careworn if the number 9 shirt on Saturday, 12:30 kick-off, remember, just some people it takes by surprise. I'm one of them. So it's 12:30 kick-off against Stoke. And if Mackenzie Kirk runs out with the equivalent of the number 9 shirt, we call it the number 9 shirt even though it's not, but we know what we mean. That's the point. What will happen to Colby Bishop? Will he be on the bench? Supposing Josh Murphy doesn't start, but is on the bench, a way of easing him back into the game after recuperation from an ankle injury. And Bishop is on the bench as well. And we know how well those two can combine. And if we find ourselves in need of a goal with an hour gone, what better double substitution could there possibly be than to bring on Josh and Colby simultaneously? Now, that's a little bit of a Roy of the Rovers scenario, but I commend this bill to the House, as politicians say when they're introducing a slightly dodgy piece of legislation. No, I do. So, yeah. So possibly Bishop and Murphy on the bench against Stoke, because the alternative is to start Bishop and Mackenzie Kirk and have Bishop just drop back a little bit deeper, a la Harry Kane, and arrive in the box at the right time to get on the end of a cross, but able to influence the game that much more by playing a little bit deeper and using his great, excellent experience to do a little bit more orchestration of the whole game rather than just act as an out-and-out finisher. Possibility. Let's have a think about those handbags on the touchline after Pompey had a penalty claim. It wasn't turned down. It seems that none of the 4 officials saw it. This is what Frank Lampard had to say to the Coventry journalists.
I haven't seen it again, but John managed to have an incredible viewpoint on it and thought it was a penalty. I didn't think it was at the time, and that's the end of it for me. So listen, I think it's one of those stadiums. It's a great stadium to play, and the crowd will be behind the team. It can be pressure on the referee, added pressure on the 4th official that I don't think is necessary, but it's the emotion of a game. I understand it. I would do similar in different terms. Your emotions get the better of you when you want something, but I don't think it was clear at all. I can't say what was said, but listen, I'm working for Coventry, and I'll defend my position. There was a lot of talk going into the 4th official's ear, and sometimes there's a tactic to that. Listen, I don't know what John might say here, but this is the game, and we're working for our football club. We work and prepare for it, and you have your emotions, and we give them, and people give them in different ways. You know, if someone wants to be standing next to the 4th official and put their pressure on him a bit, whether it's tactical or just emotions, I understand it. It's not mine, not my style, but it's his.
Frank Lampard on whether he's going to carry on sending Christmas cards to the Messino family. Here's what John Messino had to say to the Portsmouth press.
I thought it was a penalty. We have seen it back. We've had the luxury of looking at the replay and his arm's way out, and it hits his arm. The referee didn't actually see it. He was looking in the box for anything in there. He didn't see it, and no one else picked it up. It's one of those things that we didn't get. I suppose that sometimes football is such an intense game and really dynamic, he has taken his eye off it for a couple of seconds. If that happens, then there are 4 officials out there to hopefully pick it up. One of the linesmen, or the 4th official, could have spotted it, I suppose, but they didn't pick it up. Who knows if the game would have been different there. But it's one of those we clearly at the time were upset about. I was just trying to talk to the 4th official, that was all. I wasn't allowed, and the 4th official didn't deal with it. Frank interrupted, which is the polite way of putting it. It was impossible for me to speak to the 4th official.
Now, there's a big point here that wasn't made, I don't think, at any point in the build-up to this game, or during the game, or when they had their little handbags session. And that is this. These are the 2 best educated people in English football. And I'm including not just the managers, but the players, obviously, and staff. Frank Lampard went to Brentwood. Brentwood School is an internationally famous school where people board, or he didn't need to because he was fairly local, but it's also an international soccer school. And Frank wanted to make sure that he was fully qualified if he made it as a professional or didn't make it as a professional, or if he made it as a professional and got injured, so that he had to go into management, which was in his mind from day one, which is why he studied hard at Brentwood. And he even got an A star for Latin. He's a highly educated man. John Messino is even better educated. He went to possibly the world's most eminent sports university, Notre Dame, and he was there for 4 years, studying, thinking about becoming a corporate lawyer, and also playing his football, which when he got back to the UK, he was only a boy at the time, his father's work took him to America. When he got back to the UK, he had to work hard to break into professional football because he hadn't played any football in England for 4 years. But he did it. He did it because he knows how to strategise. And so does Frank Lampard. And where are they going? Is Frank Lampard going to spend the rest of his days as manager of Coventry? No. You know he's not. He knows. You know he's not. We all know he knows he's not. He's got his eyes on bigger fish to fry. Which fish to fry? Come to that in just a second. What about John Messino? Is he going to spend the rest of his life managing Pompey, That doesn't happen in football. Maybe it did at Manchester United and Arsenal for a golden couple of decades. But Pompey are not yet clubs of the size and the stature and the finance of Manchester United and Arsenal. And we all know that it will be very difficult to keep him as the seasons go by and as Pompey progress under him. And his finesse, his skills, his management skills become evident. These two men are on a collision course, aiming for the top job in English football. I'm not going to name it. You know what I'm talking about. And Frank Lampard thought that if he cracked it at Coventry, he'd stand a very good chance of going for and getting the top job in English football. Then along comes a man who's nearly 10 years younger than him and has started out much better than him. Do you think Frank Lampard's crossed John Messino off his Christmas card list? Defo! But it's mutual, because our John knows how to handle himself on the touchline. If this argument is about whether or not you shouldn't be talking to the fourth official, well, that is Messino's style. We know that. Frank Lampard says that such confrontation is not his style. No, instead, he'll have a go at and even lay a hand on, allegedly, the opposing head coach. So Frank Lampard is not pure as the driven snow in this one. He was venting his spleen on John Messino. And John Messino was venting his spleen on the fact that there were 4 pairs of eyes out there, officials I'm talking about, and apparently none of them saw the handball. Everybody else in the stadium did. By the way, one of our team has tried to get a bet on one of those two getting the top job in English football, and the bookies wouldn't take it. And they tend to know what's going on, don't they?
As Stoke City prepare for their visit to Fratton Park, Saturday lunchtime, many of their fans are nervous. Stoke currently lie 6th in the Championship, a testimony to the skills of manager Mark Robins. However, as there seems no light at the end of the tunnel for Norwich City manager Liam Manning, still in the Carrow Road dugout, but with time seemingly running out for him, it seems an open secret that Mark Robins is one of the favourites to take up the post at a club which is not shy about getting the chequebook out. On Tuesday night, Norwich went to Pride Park to take on fellow early-season strugglers Derby County, and slumped to a 1-0 defeat, Norwich's 4th defeat in a row, and according to sources close to the Canaries, Mark Robins is the first-choice replacement. Admittedly, his Potters stuttered midweek going down 2-0 at Millwall, but their start to the season has exceeded all expectations, which never climbed higher during the close season, and having another middling time of it ahead.
Yeah, Liam Manning didn't impress many people when he jumped ship and went off to Moneybags Norwich, and it doesn't seem to be working out for him very well. Of course, he could bounce back given time, given understanding owners, but I'm not sure whether the people who hold the purse strings at Norwich can be classified in that way. So he could well be on his way out, and they could have a new manager by Saturday, and that new manager might be the man who has been steering Stoke towards the top of the Championship. I think they were 3rd at one point after 10 games. So Robins is no mug. He started out his footballing career with Manchester United in their academy. They sold him to Norwich. He then enjoyed their best season ever, I think, in finishing 3rd in the Premier League, Norwich City, with Robins. I don't know if he was an ever-present, but he certainly was a key player for them. So he's got very, very, very happy memories of Norwich, and that can be the kind of thing that swings a decision one way or the other with a player, a return to some kind of home club where you have happy memories. Now, what effect might that have on the Stoke that turns up on Saturday to play us? It's unsettling for them. New manager syndrome probably won't have kicked in, because it's unlikely that Stoke will have advanced the process of finding a replacement, especially since they don't at the moment, it appears, know that they even might have to find a replacement, although their ear will be as well attuned to these rumours as everybody else's is, and so will the players. Is it unsettling for players? It's got to be there in their thinking a little bit. Is the new guy who's going to come in, is he going to like me in the way that I've been liked for the first quarter of this season? And that's why, in part, I've been playing so well, and we've been playing so well. And now here we are looking, perhaps, at a new manager who might fit, who might not, who might like me, who might put the word out that I'm available. So probably doesn't do them any good, which we don't mind at all. Yang, Yang will tear you apart again. Yang, Yang will tear you apart